Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 5, episode number 4. Today's a sports. No, today is not a sports. It's songs edition, Andy. I got to change that. It's a songs edition. Today is November 30th, 2023. The last day of November. We're going to be into December here soon before you know it, Andy. How are you?
Well, see, I wore a baseball jersey and threw you all off on that.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. Let's get that fixed here. We'll have someone in the recording studio update that. But we've got a good episode. What we're going to do is a album review today, Andy.
We're training in new interns right now too. With the holidays here, everybody's got time off. We trust them.
We're set. We're going to do an album review.
Cousin Chris is filling in for Jeff today, so
our high-paid people here on the staff. So we've got it fixed. We're on episode 4. We're on season 5.
Yes,
we've done this band before, Andy. We've done it twice. It's one of my favorite lesser-known bands that exists, I think. And I think we'll get a lot of following here. But the band is Godsmack. Godsmack is what people refer to as a combination of kind of like an Alice in Chains and Metallica.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
The song itself, Godsmack from Alice in Chains, is where Godsmack got their name of their band from. But we're going to do Faceless tonight. Nice. Another great album cover here. Check this out, Andy.
I like that one. That's pretty cool.
When this came out, I bought it right away. I owned it. I was going through a Godsmack phase in my life and covered a lot of these things and listened to a lot of these albums front to back over and over and over. And this is some good stuff. And reviewing this week brought back a lot of good stuff. I was like, I don't listen to these guys enough.
Good times.
It was good times. For you, not so much. You're not a big fan. You listen to some of the songs. Some of the regulars probably, but hopefully you can chime in with some comments.
Yes. I got some input. Yes,
I'll certainly have a bunch, including some notes here after the episode is done, as far as some real live information with their lead singer. So Faceless is the third studio album by American rock band Godsmack. It's the first one with drummer Shannon Larkin. He was the old former drummer for Ugly Kid Joe. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
You did? See, I'd never heard of that band.
You never heard Ugly Kid Joe?
No.
Oh.
But this is where some of our musical tastes don't align. I never heard of the band, but you are well familiar with them.
Quick story about Ugly Kid Joe. When I saw them, they opened up for Ozzy on one of his early farewell tours.
You saw them. Awesome.
Yes. And I think Zach Well was guitarist for Ozzy at the time. And he was not impressed with Ugly Kid Joe. He kind of mentioned that on the stage. So
okay.
Good guys, but they were just they had one song. Video was all right. They were kind of an MTV hit.
Yeah.
And they thought they were better than they were.
Okay. Well, fair enough. We're here to educate. And so yes. The songs that came off this album called I Stand Alone, the song Straight Out of Line, both had Grammy nominations for Best Rock Song and Best Hard Rock Performance, respectively. So I Stand Alone was Best Rock Song and Straight Out of Line as Best Rock Performance at the Grammys. So these guys were popular. I mean, they were the deal. And the last 15, 20 years, there hasn't been much new music, new studio stuff from rock bands, unless of the ones that kind of fly under the radar. But that was one of the reasons I followed these guys, because they were out there selling, going on tour. I've seen them one time in concert. The subject of the album was, this album's a bit more musical, they say at times, and it's a bit more melodic, but it's still raw. It's still tough. It's got that Godsmack edge to it, but it's not quite as angry, maybe, as the past stuff has been. Well, I listened to the album again. It certainly is angry. It is in-your-face, angry songs on this entire album, and they say it's not as much as the previous albums, but it's good. I love the drums. I love the lead guitar, the bass, the vocals, and it's very clean. Each of these songs are very clean and very tight. So they've got some new things. They came out with this. It was debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. It went one-time platinum. To this day, it sold 1.5, so it never hit the 2 platinum level. It sold, most of their CDs were sold that first week or the first month.
It might hit it after this episode, though. You never know.
It could after this episode.
It could.
Now they were going up against the album that came out with was Linkin Park's Meteora.
Yep.
How do you say it? Meteora. And so
Yeah.
that was big at the time. So it bumped them off. But the second single that came out, Straight Out of Line, would have been a top Grammy Award winner, but it was going up against Evanescence, Bring Me to Life at that time.
Yep.
And so it never got it. It got nominated for a Grammy, but didn't win because of that.
Just had some bad timing on it.
Bad timing. Every album that we review talks about it's very important on the timing. Here's the track listing, Andy, and what this is 12 songs straight up, and they're all 3, 4, 5 minute songs. Nothing big, nothing really long. There's a short song there stuck in the middle, kind of an instrumental, but all the rest are good. Here it is. Straight Out of Line, very good song. Faceless, very good. Changes. Next song is Make Me Believe. Next song is I Stand Alone. Next song is Realign.
That way, yeah. Pastor might be listening.
The next song is I Effing Hate You.
Okay.
I blank hate you is what it says. And that is the actual name of the song. And you're talking about some angry. This, if you're going through a breakup in a relationship or something, this is the album for you because these songs are mainly dealing with anger and breakup and opposite sex frustration is really what it's dealing with. Not for everyone. Song 8 is Releasing the Demons. Song 9 is Dead and Broken. Song 10 is I Am. Song 10 is The Awakening. That's a real short instrumental that leads into the song Serenity. And that's kind
of almost think that The Awakening is not a song, it's just a lead into Serenity, but it is.
It's really all that it is. Yeah. So it's 11 strong songs here. Now the personnel: Sully Erna, lead guitars, rhythm guitar, additional drums. He came up as a drummer, plays rhythm guitar now, a very good vocalist, does a very good harmonica is what he does in concert live on the shows. There's a couple songs in their earlier album with harmonica that he does. Tony Rombola, lead guitar, Robbie Merrill, bass, and Shannon Larkin, drums. So, Andy, it's 47 minutes long, 47 minutes, 19 seconds. It's considered alternative metal, new metal, and heavy metal. New as in NU.
Yeah, I've never gotten that new what the hell that is. But yeah, it's metal. It was 90s metal. I liked it when I listened to it again for the first time today. It was one of those, like, as the songs came out, it's like, oh, I remember that song. Oh yeah, I know that song. Again, I liked the songs, I'm familiar with them, but nothing where I was buying the records like you or anything like that. But like I said, Shannon Larkin, the drummer from Ugly Kid Joe, he was also, if you remember the band Candlebox.
Candlebox, yes.
He was done for a little bit too, also. So you might
was that Pacific Northwest band?
Yeah, he's a Seattle guy.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, very clean album. Everything they're so good. I mean, these guys the sound is so cool, and that's why I have no problem listening to the album all the way through. Not going, I'm going to skip this song. It may not be a great song or one of your favorites, but it's still good enough. You're okay listening to it. You don't have to like, this song blows, I'm skipping it. You don't do that on this album.
Yeah, I agree. I listened to the whole thing straight through and was surprised. It's kind of like, I don't want to say Aerosmith, where some of the songs start sounding all the same. Did you get that feel that some of their songs sound okay?
You could tell there were different songs, but they still went smooth together. It was done because let's do it on Spotify. Shameless plug. And all of a sudden it was over. It's like, that was 45 minutes already? Because you don't feel like, oh yeah, this song, whatever. They're all keep you intrigued to listening, you know.
And I misspoke earlier. There's no 5-minute song even on there. There are a couple of songs are 3 minutes, but all the rest are 4. And they end nice and crisp. They don't drag it out. There's no long instrumentals. There's no love song, no ballads. Serenity at the end is softer. But once again, these guys are talking about, these are real live lyrics, almost like you're listening to Pacific Northwest, almost like grunge.
Now,
where the emotional lyrics are on their sleeve. I mean, it's.
You said there was no 5-minute songs. You're not including the 2 UK bonus tracks there, Dan.
Oh no. I usually so when we do the reviews,
that was 7.5, and Awake Live 3.5.
Yeah, the UK bonus tracks. There's a couple of those live versions, and typically when you do the album review, I don't get into the Japanese tracks or the other tracks or the bonus editions and things like that. But this one does. There's two of them there if you get the UK version.
They almost put 13 more minutes of music on right there in 2 songs.
Yeah, that's a little too much. But these guys are known for having good album covers, clean and simple, I should say. The first one, everyone knows their first album or two. I think everyone knows what they look like. But it's once again, it's songs you'll pop in or hear at the bar and say, "Oh, that's Godsmack." I didn't know that. One review on the, let's see, here it is. KNAC, the radio station, also awarded the album 4 stars and called the album "good, loud, aggressive, heavy." (parentheses slightly pop rock). Now, I would agree with that. It's good, loud, aggressive. This is all aggressive, hard rock, heavy metal music, and that's what I love.
Except the one song title, they were all, when he says pop rock, they're all okay to be on the radio. They weren't so over the top, as much as I love them. It wasn't so over the top like Rob Zombie or something like that.
Yes.
Yep. So you could sneak it in on a pop station if it made the charts, and you're okay going, "Oh, it's in the top 40. Might as well play it. What the hell?" They're okay getting away with this one. It wasn't in the regular playlist, but they'd throw it on a Friday night. Ooh, look, we're playing rock and roll, on KDWB. Ooh, look at us,
And that song,
I hear it once a week on there.
And that song you're talking about, actually appeared on a TV spot for the movie Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, albeit the instrumental version, of course.
Yes.
But so it's a real good song, real good music. They couldn't put the lyrics on there, but these are things that, they're all Sully Erna. It's all stuff he's been dealing with, stuff that he's dealt with in his life.
He produced this album too, I believe. He
did, yes. And so Sully is one of those guys that I've always been a big fan of his music and his musicianship background. Now, he came from a tough lifestyle. He grew up in I think it was Lawrence, Massachusetts. There's a book written about him, about his biography. It's basically a biography about him growing up, and that's been converted now to a movie. It's actually out now, Andy.
Oh, wow.
The movie's called "I Stand Alone: This Sully Erna Story," and I watched the trailer twice. It looks phenomenal. I may want to watch that this weekend and do another review or something, because
I've done a couple movie reviews before. Go right ahead.
I might try that, because this guy's lifestyle, where he came from, you're either in the gangs, on the streets, involved with drugs, and the gangbang lifestyle. Now, I'm not stereotyping. He's just a normal white kid from Boston. I mean, that's all these guys are. And he's only, I think he's 5'7", maybe, if that. He's a small guy.
Right.
But he was on the streets.
Well, his name's Salvatore. So I mean, he's your typical little Italian from Boston, but stereotype. So, he didn't really stand a chance unless you're going to be tough or you're going to be dead. It was kind of the way it had to be growing up. And
so he faced a lot of decisions and went through a tough stage there in his life. But when he found music and got into music and said, I got this is the only way I'm going to get out of here alive, or besides being in jail, being in prison, or being dead, I need to get into music and focus. And he is a straight, clean-cut guy. These guys, very good musician. But the documentary is called "I Stand Alone," and a lot of the stuff he's done on his own perseverance and getting through and making decisions. Now, not that they were easy along the way, but he's happened to write all these down. These song lyrics are all personal experiences of stuff that he's gone through. Now, Andy, they released 5 songs on this album.
Yes.
5. And so, 93X. 5. They released 5 off this album. Only has 9 songs or 11 songs on it. 11 songs plus the instrumental, so there's 12. But, when 93X was big when these guys first was coming out, and they got a lot of airplay and a lot of radio stations like that. But they released the song "I Stand Alone." This is over 20 years ago. "I Stand Alone" was released, and then "Straight Out of Line." Most people are going to know that song. "Serenity." That's that softer drums effect. They've got a lot of the kind of the African bongo drums and things.
Okay. Yep.
And then they released "Realign," and then "I Am." And so that's over almost a 1 or 2 year period. They released 5 singles this album. So it went 1.5 times, 1.5 times platinum. But that's
I mean,
all I've got for Godsmack.
2 of them reached #1. Realign reached #3, so they did all right.
And it was that crowd. It was that early 20 crowd. It was that teenage crowd. You know, when you target that teenage angst, going after the teenage angsty years, like which most rock musicians did to attract that crowd, a la Alice Cooper, Dio, Black Sabbath, Kiss, is the crowd that you go after. That's what they did perfect, I think. If I was a high school student, I'd be a big Godsmack fan, Andy.
Yes, you would have had the concert shirt on in class.
Oh, yes. So see the documentary I Stand Alone, that looks pretty good. It's a story not on Godsmack, just on Sully Erna himself.
Yep.
Hour and a half documentary. We'll highlight that in upcoming shows.
All right.
Let's go to your musical notes.
All right. Let's go to what I got here. Got some concert stuff we're going to start with. Medina Entertainment Center's got some concerts coming up here. Hairwall, next week's December 9th.
Coming up.
There we go. The White Keys opening up. Not familiar with the White Keys.
That's almost racist.
Yeah, it kind of sounds bad, but.
No, is that the reference to the piano, Ebony and Ivory?
I'm hoping so, but not like the janitor keys on your hip. I don't know. I'm going to go with that. Maybe they just play piano music and use just the White Keys. I don't know. Not sure.
Okay.
America's Van Halen Experience Jump will be there Friday, January 5th. Doors open at 7, show at 8. $17 for advanced general admission only. So.
And is this the band that does both Van Halens, or is that a different band called Balance?
I think that's Balance.
Okay.
Whoops. There we go. Firehouse and Suite coming February 10th. Now, I like being my Firehouse. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
$47 for gold tickets, $35 for general admission. I don't like them that much.
Now, is this Michael Sweet?
No, just Sweet.
Who is?
Not to be confused with Michael Sweet from Stryper. No.
Okay, so this is Sweet. Is this more the older band?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is not either one of the Sweet Boys from Stryper. No.
Okay, not a Stryper split
reference.
off.
No.
Not a reference. But yeah, the tickets there seem high for Medina, but that's
Firehouse
okay.
is a major label act and everything else. So, but hey, the Bowl on Shakopee, they got a few shows coming up. 10,000 Days, a Tool tribute band, December 1st. That'd be tomorrow if you're watching tonight.
What I've heard, Andy, is that this is the Tool band to see. Yes, this is it. This is the deal. I'm going to see them. I'm not a big Tool fan, but I would love to see this show. I'm busy. I can't go the first year. But next time they're in town, I want to see these guys at the Shakopee Bowl. This is a tremendous tribute band.
I see their name around a lot in local places. So, yeah, we'll have a chance to see them again. December 15th, Pop Rocks. I'm a little confused with Pop Rocks. They got an Ozzy Osbourne on there, but hey.
Well, I think what they have here is, and I've heard that this is a pretty good show. Once again, it draws a lot of people because it's half pop and half rock, I think is why it's called Pop Rocks. Okay. But maybe, the Ozzy thing,
That's a little more than rock, but hey.
I don't want to judge.
I just report the news. I don't make it.
I think these get good showings.
Yeah, they do. And I've never seen them. I've always wanted to, and just our schedules never align. I'll have to talk to them.
They'll have to realign like the Godsmack song.
Now, like when I was a kid, here's how I got my playlist, and here's some other stuff I've added to my playlist lately.
Oh, yes.
The new Judas Priest album or song is out, Trial by Fire. Rob Halford still got it. Great video. We've got it on our Facebook page. I highly recommend you give it a listen. Judas Priest, Trial by Fire.
Yes.
And by the way, they'll be here the 2nd of May, 2024 at the Armory.
Okay. Great show. Great venue.
Pearl Jam's got a new album coming out. If you still like Pearl Jam.
I think there's a lot of people out there that really like these guys. I never got into them,
I did at first. It just kind of got boring after a while. I don't know what it is. I mean, God bless them. They're still doing good. Not my cup of tea anymore, but I know a lot of our fans are into it, so that's why we're here. Heartless at St. Croix Casino tomorrow for a free show.
That is, if you get a chance, if you're out that direction for our listeners, try to jump into that show. That's a great, great show.
Now, Steve Perry, lead singer of Journey, was fired because he broke his hip on a hike. The band didn't want to wait for over a year for him to get better from hip surgery, so that's why they replaced him. The moral of the story is sit around and get fat. Don't try to exercise. You're going to break your hip and lose your job.
Yes, just have fun like we do here at the show.
Just don't try to get that dad bod. Just put a few pounds on.
Don't try to do too much.
Yeah. Look at how much money that trying to be healthy and thin cost him. Come on.
Yes. Steve Perry.
Don Dokken he says he's picked the actor to play him in the movie. Now, he never did name that person, but in an interview with Steve Mascord of White Line Fever, they're making a movie about Dokken, kind of like Motley Crue's Dirt, with when Jeff Pilson and George Lynch and Mick Brown were in the band. Sounds like they're making a Dokken movie. I love me and my Dokken, but I never thought to be a movie about him.
And not saying the movie could be certainly good. I'd like to see it, but I just can't imagine it doing well. Dokken, was they had their fun back in the day, but it's not quite like Motley Crue's The Dirt.
Right. And they're hoping that, okay, if this movie does well and kind of gets a resurgence of Dokken love like The Dirt did for Motley Crue, would the four get back together or not?
Oh, good question.
Which leads me
I like how we had the press conference to announce that a lead singer, the lead actor has been announced, and they haven't said who it is, but the story was the fact that he found one.
He says they showed me a list of 5 guys. I didn't like any of them. Which leads me to the homework, Dan.
Yes, I got my pen ready. Give me something to write on.
Who would play you in a movie about you? Don't need an answer now. Put it in the comments below on our Facebook page.
Wow.
For the show.
That's
Who would play you in a movie? Seriously. Just think about it. No, Jason Momoa is not going to play you.
Jason Inc.
Jason Inc. might play you. Some new releases.
Okay.
Like the Judas Priest one, but a new release of a sequel to the iconic movie Spinal Tap is coming out in February.
Yeah.
Or they'll start filming in February. I'm sorry. I'm all giddy. I'm excited.
Yeah, that could be good.
That could be good. Ace Frehley's got a new album out, 10,000 Volts. And now I just want to show this to you because you don't see this very often. An album and the track listings nowadays. Usually it's just, oh yeah, he's got a couple songs out on Spotify, then 2 more later. An actual album. Which leads me to my next one. And I know we've talked about this before, but brought it up again. Between 79 and 92, Hank Williams Jr. released 21 albums. That's basically an album every 8 months. And every single one of them won at least certified gold.
Yeah, that is phenomenal.
Suck it, Taylor Swift.
That is unreal.
So can you imagine like her, she releases an album on Spotify and she has 10 of the top 15 songs because the whole album gets released at once. Can you imagine what this man would have done during that run in today's music industry? He would have been the top 10 for 21 years. Or for 21 albums worth,
The entire 80s for sure.
Yeah, he would have been the top 10 in the 80s. And just one more thing. I hope you dads never have to have this conversation with your child.
Yes.
And those of you on the audio side, it's a meme where the dad says, son, someday you'll be a man. The son goes, but Dad, I'm 27. The dad says, yes, but you still listen to Luke Bryan.
That's awesome. I did see that meme, and I did chuckle when I saw that. I'm so glad you posted it here. That was pretty good.
We're not big Luke Bryan fans here, if you could tell.
Well, I think what we like, Andy, is just good rockin' hard rock music. Good classic rock and roll.
Fakes it too much, but that's all I got, sir. Now, like I said, Medina and the Bowl that we mentioned for concerts, there is other shows in between. Not saying they're good or bad. I just picked out the ones I liked. So there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. They do have shows every weekend, but we just like to pick out the ones that are best for our audience, right? The demographic and the audience.
Yep. And
So
we'll throw
listen to
the other
some
ones in every now and then,
Godsmack.
kind of mix it up. Yep.
We've got a good show next week for you all.
Yes. If you see a band you want us to cover, let us know in the comments below or send us a private message or slide into our DMs, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I've got here. All right. Have a good week, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.